Hello and welcome to Psychic Empowerment Part 2. Now in Part 1 we talked about how to increase our brain power by simply just turning off that stupid television and replacing it with meditation or something similar. And in this video I'm going to talk about simple ways that I found to increase my telekinetic energy that anyone can do. And a lot of the great ways I've already addressed in other videos, and I don't want to just, repeat myself. But real briefly, I want to mention a few things, and I'll include some links at the end of the video and perhaps in the video description below to some of my other videos that address these things more in depth. But real briefly, I want to mention the importance of diet and drink. We have to have a really good, clean, high-quality water of a reasonable pH and drink lots of it. And as far as food, live, raw, organic food, it's kind of a no-brainer. The true life force energy is in the live foods, and in particular the fruits. And the importance of salt, and I've said this 100 times, but if you get a good Himalayan salt, that will increase your electrical activity. And of course, ormus, but I don't want to get into ormus because again, that's in some other videos that I've made. And I want to also mention the importance of detoxification. As with any machine, if it's nice and clean, it works better. And a great way to detoxify is to fast. I recommend doing at least one 24-hour fast every 30 days or so. And I like to do it quite a bit more frequently than that. And there's lots of good ways. There's dry fasting, there's juice fasting, there's, just lemon water fasting. But the longer you can do it, I know at first it's kind of a detoxing thing, but it also ends up increasing your energy and enlightenment. So you might want to consider that if you've never tried fasting. And solar gazing or sun gazing. And again, I'm not going to get into how to do that, but that will increase your telekinetic energy just simply by getting on a solar gazing regimen. And again, I want to mention grounding. I've said that in other videos, mentioning the physical benefits of it. But also I think the grounding has sort of an electrical cleansing or recharging effect, which is very beneficial for telekinesis. And let's also mention our surroundings. EMF, Wi-Fi, cell phones, these are not our friends if you're trying to conserve, harvest, and learn how to use subtle energy. We need to try to get into a good, clean, electrical-free environment to practice if possible. So reducing your Wi-Fi and cell phone exposure is going to help you. And this isn't just, hoopla stuff or my opinion. I've found this through experience, and there's some good solid research out there that explains and demonstrates how this works. In fact, if I can find it, I'll show a little clip in here.
A growing body of independent research is now starting to accumulate.
In our second set of tests, we're using the smart meter. Before the exposure, we see the same thing as we saw in the first samples. Normal cell walls, fairly separated and looking healthy. So after 2 minutes of exposure in front of the smart meter at about 1 foot away, we see a totally different story. Sample 1, you can see a lot of degradation in the cells. The cell walls have been broken, and you see changes in the cells which are called mycoplasma. It shows a mutation to the cell. In the second sample, we see a different type of degradation to the cell membranes. You can see a corrugation here. This is called bottle cap formation, and it's known that this occurs due to oxidation or exposure to free radicals. So this third subject, when we did her sample, she had to be pulled away from the meter after 45 seconds because she complained about an increasingly severe headache. And here you see a phenomenon called rouleau, where the red blood cells are stacking up, which makes it very difficult for the blood to deliver oxygen to the tissues as they would be their normal function. Every single one of these is a degradation. Every single one of these shows a trauma to the blood cells. And that came from something, and the only variable was the smart meter.
And also meditation that I mentioned in the previous video, not only for the mental benefits, how it helps with the clarity of mind and just very relaxing and beneficial for the body. But I think this also, in terms of energy, it kind of helps conserve in one regard. Our energy flows where our attention goes. So if your eyes are open and your mind is engaged on anything, be it a television or another person or work or whatever it is, you are putting in your energy into that. So when we meditate with our eyes closed, it sort of conserves and recycles and regenerates and cleanses that energy internally, which can be used later for telekinesis. And last but not least, before I get into the heart of the matter, which is going to be energy work, I want to mention love. Just being in the higher vibration of love will increase your telekinetic energy. I don't know why that is, but I've found, for me, myself, it's the only emotion I can get away with is the love and empathy for other things. So, and again, this is all based on my experience, and, there's no set rules to how to increase your energy. These are just things that have worked for me. And I'm going to give you a brief overview of the 3 types of energy work that I've dabbled in and give you my opinions and thoughts on it. And I'll share some links to some videos that I recommend for those of you who are just getting started. All right, so let's get into it. Well, the top 3 for me are Qigong, Tai Chi, and Yoga. And I definitely want to preface this by saying I am by no means an expert in any of this. In fact, a lot of the stuff I did early on was just my own adaptations of things that I'd seen on the internet, I called it hillbilly Qigong. So, but the importance of all of this is just the bringing the reunion of our mind, body, and spirit as one, to promote health and happiness. And all 3 of these are just basically this different approaches for the same desired results. And the techniques just come from different parts of the world, be it India or China or what have you. But Qigong in particular has a different style that focuses a lot more on the breath and balance and uses very slow, methodic, circular movements, which are very similar to the way, subtle energy flows and how we're going to use it to direct beyond our body and stuff. And it also, Qigong requires control of your thoughts and the use of imagination, which again are very similar to the way we use our thoughts and imagination and energy to do psychokinesis. And Qigong is all about, it can be used for detoxification, it can be used for relaxation, there's lots of different forms of it, but it can be used for harvesting energy and learning how to direct our energy, which is the main ones you want to focus on if your goal is to perform psychokinesis. And regardless of which form of energy work you're doing, be it yoga, tai chi, or qigong, I can't stress enough the importance of the connecting your movements exactly with your breath. When one movement ends, that should be the exact end of your breath, and when another movement begins, that should be the exact beginning of your breath. And I don't know why it is, but that is one of the most important things about doing this. So when you get started, take your time, make sure you do everything precise timing and exact correct form, and get started on the right path and don't get into bad habits like I did. Okay. Next I want to talk a little bit about Tai Chi. And again, I want to preface this, I'm by no means an expert on Tai Chi, but what the things I have noticed, the differences between Tai Chi and Qigong, is that Tai Chi is a lot easier. In other words, the movements are more simple and slow, and it's all about precision and repetition and that type of thing. And the benefits of Tai Chi I found are primarily the synchronizing of the mind, body, and emotions. It's very calming as well. But I think it's more about spiritually and mentally cleansing yourself by doing these regimens and routines of Tai Chi to bring about balance and harmony in your life. And it's a lot easier to do than a lot of the Qigong and yoga. So Tai Chi might be, if you're getting up there in years or you're not in the best of physical shape, Tai Chi is a great place to start, I think. And last but not least is yoga. Now, I haven't done a lot of yoga, but one thing I found that yoga can do that the other can't is it's really good at breaking through blocked energy pathways. And it's also very good at strengthening any weakness you have, be it your spine or a knee or anything. yoga is good at strengthening, improving your stamina and agility and that type of stuff. But yoga is more about like static stretches, like holding poses and rigid and very focused. And it requires a great deal of strength in some of the advanced stuff. But even the regular stuff requires a little bit of strength and endurance and flexibility and athleticism. So, like I said, this is good for blocked energy pathways, but I think the other two are actually more beneficial in regard to increasing our energy. Okay, so I don't want to bore you to death, and in fact, I've had a lot of complaints, or not a lot, but I've had several people, say, oh, come on, let's do some demonstrations, and I know it's boring, and I'm doing biokinesis, and it's boring for me, so I can imagine, you guys are getting bored. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. On Halloween, I'm going to upload a spooky little fire magic video to kind of bring the life back into this channel. But I think these empowerment videos are very important, and I hope they are very helpful for you guys. And like I said, check out the videos. I've recommended one video for Qigong, one for Tai Chi, and one for yoga, and one for meditation. That'll get the ball rolling. And I've been avoiding doing this for many years because this channel is focused primarily on original content only, and I don't like regurgitating stuff from other people. But a lot of people have asked how I got started, and I always just give general basic answers and say Qigong, and that's not good enough, So here I've recommended the 5 elements, which is where I began. That's what got it all started for me. Now, I couldn't find the exact video that I learned the 5 elements from, which was a Dr. Lamb, I think was his name, L-A-M. But the one I picked is pretty good. And in fact, these videos that I picked are not just chosen willy-nilly. They all have strategic reasons and benefits that are going to help you increase your energy. So, if you don't know where to begin, give these a try. And it's not like you do them once or twice, Give this 100 days, guys, and you will notice not only do you feel better, but you'll notice that you can move, direct, store, harvest energy a lot easier, and you'll open up these energy pathways, which will make it a lot easier to project your energy beyond your body and use it for telekinesis. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for this freaky fire magic video coming up on Halloween.